And we are live.
There we go.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone today on an again very summer-like day?
Warm outside. There is no coat needed.
Yeah, it's really odd when it's like almost the middle of November and it's like shorts and flip-flop weather, which is not typical. We're in Ontario, Canada, for those that are new. Welcome. This is the L&L Morning Show. I feel like we need to introduce ourselves, and I don't know why. So, hi. As we wait for some people to join us live, because quite honestly, today is a really important topic. We're talking about prospecting. We're talking about clients, potential clients, and potential patients, and their journey, and how it is not ideal to treat them all the same in the sort of lead to prospect to client or patient journey.
Yes.
Especially in your sort of prospecting phase. Because they all have different levels of readiness. And we need to understand what those are in order to maximize the amount of support and transformation that you can provide. Because at the end of the day, you know, putting out any amount of free content is really great, right? It's really great. It's really helpful. There are people that are going to take your free content and roll with it and get a result in advance, get a really small win, and be so grateful to you. And then the law of reciprocity kicks in. And they're going to want to work with you. But if we are talking about transformation, in the sense of taking them from where they are right now, which is in some type of pain with a complaint, unhappy, unsatisfied, whatever that is, to whatever they believe is the opposite of that. Right? Whatever that is for them. That's what we're talking about. And that can really only occur when they are under your wing, so to speak. I don't know.
Like, that feels good. Under your wing. When you've taken them in.
Yes. And this is a word I learned a long time ago, but like when you have a fiduciary duty to protect them. You know, Laura and I spent, along with our coaching team, specifically our director of success, Jessie, we spent an extraordinary amount of time talking about defining our own clients' best interests and like what we feel is reasonable and what we feel isn't. And, you know, I think that's something that often gets overlooked when it comes to sales and enrolling clients, because when you come at it from the vantage point of like the practitioner or the coach who's like so scared and they don't want to feel salesy and they're so caught up in their own stuff. Will they buy? Will they not buy? Will they give an objection? Will the husband care? Was it too much? Am I charging too much? Is anybody going to buy? Are they going to get results? And right, the person is so wrapped up in their own stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Right? That they forget to come from a genuine place of service.
So much so. You forget that it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the person on the other end.
Which is your job to hold their interests at the top, right? At the top. Is it in their best interest to work with you? Is it in their best interest to figure out a financial plan so that they can work with you? Is it in their best interest for you to refer them? Because quite honestly, you and your program are not the best fit for them, even though you could really use the money to pay your bill. Right? Is it in their best interest to maybe start after their vacation? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Right? Is it in their best interest to not get a refund? Because, right, we talked about that too. Like, at what point is it not in their best interest to make special accommodations because it's another form of self-sabotage.
Yes, totally.
So when you come at the entire sales process, the entire enrollment process, right? Yep. Good morning, everybody. Jennifer, Misha, and Kate, and Sherry, hello. When you come at the entire sales process with the integrity and with the idea of transformation, then we have to go back to the beginning. And that's what we're talking about today, right? Yes. Then we have to go back to the beginning and say, okay, well, if literally my job as a naturopathic doctor, as an osteopath, as a health coach, as an aromatherapist, as a licensed psychotherapist, whatever, right? Culinary nutrition expert, whatever your designation is, right? To say, if I am genuinely here because I care, and I know that with my training and with my experience and with my skills and with my heart and with my soul, I can affect change for this group of people.
Yep.
Then your job is to take them through the journey of transformation, which starts well before they become a client or a patient.
It sure does. It sure does.
Well before that.
Uh-huh.
And if you come from that place with that level of integrity and that level of intent, it changes the feel of everything that you do.
Yep. It's the difference between, and we say this with our team, we say this to our clients, we say this on here, we say this everywhere, but this is the difference between selling something, like selling socks to somebody, like a commodity, and leading someone to a transformational outcome, right? Yep. Your responsibility is not to sell anybody anything, it's to lead the person who most needs your help, first of all, to the place where they are ready to accept it because they understand that they need it, and then to the place where they actually achieve the transformation that they wanted. That's your job.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. And we talked about this before, and we'll probably talk about it next week when we dive into signature program things, which we're going to talk about next week. But this is also why the practice model of the one-time, very transactional session is actually harmful to your business and clients and patients.
To the client and patient even more so than you and your business, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you look at it from, the vantage point of my job, my purpose, this is what we all signed up for, right? To transform lives. At the end of the day, we didn't sign up to learn how to use Facebook ads. We didn't sign up to learn how to multi-live stream and do all of these things. But these skill sets are job requirements now.
Yep.
They are. They are. If we look at, the job description of somebody who wants to have an online business that is either a practitioner or a coach, and they are dedicated to transformation, these are some of the skill sets. That's a tangent. But, if we look at that model of, so you come to me one time. You come to me one time and you pay me money, and I give you pages of to-dos, and then you leave and that's it. I've been to many massage therapists, ND, functional med, doctor, all the practitioners.
Yep.
There has never been an opportunity because of that business model, because of that practice model, for them to actually support me in execution.
Yes.
Which means my chances of transformation are very low, because what we all need are accountability and support.
It's execution. Execution is everything. You can give somebody any sort of instruction or guidelines or to-do list or protocol, but if they don't execute it, nothing happens.
And then what happens is you are you are added to that list of people who didn't work.
Yes.
Right? Then you are added to the list of, oh, I went to this naturopath and like whatever, she gave me like a really long list of supplements and like I took them for like nothing changed.
It was like $140 and I don't know.
Right? I went to this personal trainer like for 6 sessions and like then I didn't hear from them again and like whatever. You know, like
didn't work.
I've experienced that.
Yep.
I've totally experienced that, right? In my journey to balance my hormones.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you know, let me know if this is resonating with you guys, where you can feel that the way that you are interacting with people at this point, unless you're obviously in the 10K success system or grow, because we make sure that that doesn't happen.
We sure do.
But this is the model, like, right? This is the model. And so if we look at this whole idea of transformation and we go back to the beginning and we say, not all prospects come in the same place, and therefore you can't treat them the same. Same thing with it's the same thing with clients. You can't treat all clients the same.
Nope.
So talk a little bit about the different levels of the prospects that come in that could come into your world.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, before I even dive into that, again, this is just highlighting the importance of the conversations and the talking to the people and the understanding and the asking of the questions so that you know what levels of awareness your people are coming in at. But if you think about people coming in with a problem, there's a spectrum, right, between where the problem started and where they're ready to access the solution. And so that spectrum means that the people you are engaging with around the transformation that you provide, the problem that you solve, are going to either be new to the process of the problem and the outcome, they're going to be, you know, maybe midway there on the spectrum, or they're going to be, you know, at the very end where they're ready to access the solution. They're cold, they're medium, and they're hot, right? And the further they are along this spectrum, the more aware they are of what's going on with them and what they need to do to move forward. So those are what we kind of refer to as the levels of awareness of your ideal client. And so your responsibility now, because now that you know this, you actually have to take action with it, is to understand that there are people at different levels of awareness in your community, on your email list, in your, you know, warm network of people, at all of these levels. And so it's not enough for you to talk at one level anymore. You have to talk to people at all the different levels and help them move one step further to be ready to work with you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think if we can take this one step deeper and talk about like when you get into PMs with people, because we spoke about that yesterday, we gave all the challenge, right? To go into 10 private message conversations daily, 50 by the end of the week, convert 5% of those, you have 8 clients at the end of the month. Just do that, right? Just do that. And so it's important to understand that not all prospects are the same. Someone might come into your world who might be 3 days new to you, but might be hot because they are ready. They're just done. They're done trying all the things. They saw one Facebook Live of yours. They read one post of yours and they're like, here's my credit card. I want to get started yesterday. Well, you know, how would you know that? Or somebody in the PMs might be, you know, 6 months in and still not ready. So it doesn't necessarily mean length of time in your world. It's stage of readiness. Right? It's, are they in, you know, total oblivion that like anything's wrong? Right? Are they like sort of kind of understanding? Are they at the beginning of like, oh, like maybe this is an actual problem for me? And then they're Googling it and then they found you, but they're still like, I'd rather just like take the anti-inflammatories at this point. Like I'm not convinced yet.
It's not that big a deal.
Yeah, like I'll still take the, you know, I'll still take the antacids. Like, I'm good. And then there's people in like legit contemplation where they're like, oh, you know, contemplation, like, okay, I'm like, they're consuming your content. This might be all in the same day, by the way. Like, we don't know timelines, right? And so they're like contemplating. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, something happens. We call that a trigger. And they're now action.
Yes. And it's really important for you to understand this. You can't force the stage of readiness to change. And when you try, this is where so many people go wrong and lose it in the PMs, because they talk at the person they're talking to, not with the person that they're talking to. And so they're not listening to the things that the prospect is saying that is indicating where they are and asking questions and leading. Instead, they're telling them where they should be.
Or they're just
doesn't work.
Coaching them.
Which also doesn't work for other reasons.
Right. And so it's really important to understand this strategy of qualifying with questions. Qualifying with questions, because when somebody emails you to say, I'm ready, or when somebody asks for more information about your program, or when you are reaching out and engaging in the PMs with people, you don't want to mistakenly drag out the conversation when they're like, I'm ready. Like, all you got to do is ask, friend. Like,
I'm ready.
I'm here.
Yeah.
And but you're like, well, how long have you been trying that for? And what did you eat yesterday? And how many times have you tried? And they're like, this is annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I just want results. So now they're going to ghost you because that's annoying.
Yes.
When like you maybe had you had qualified them with the question, you would have already had their credit card.
Yeah. Yes.
So go through what qualifying with questions looks like.
Well, it starts by you taking a breath and coming down from the panic of, okay, I have to enroll them. They said they're ready. Now, what do I do next? I have to give them a call. I have to do the thing. Right? So first of all, you have to take a breath and remember that they're like an actual human on the other end of a conversation who has put their hand up in some way, shape, or form and said, I need help, right? I need help from you. So the first thing that you want to ask them is, absolutely, what can I help you with? What's the problem you're having right now, right? What's going on with you? You need to understand what they're defining as the problem. First and foremost, right? Simple. Got it. What's the problem? Got it. How much weight do you need to lose? Got it. How long has this been going on for you that you've been pooping your pants in public? Like, get some information around the problem. Then they're going to tell you the problem. And then you want to find out, okay, cool. What does a solution look like for you? Because if they're at different levels of readiness, their idea of a solution is going to look really different, right? And so you need to figure out exactly what's wrong and exactly what they want. That's step one. Once you know that, you need to find out if they are looking for help to solve it. Got it.
Now.
Are you looking to solve this right now? Or is this something that, is a future goal? You need to know this, right? Because if they come back and say, it's a future goal, it's June right now, I'm comfortable with my weight, but come like September, October, I'm going to buckle down hard. Well, they're not ready to work with you. They're not ready to do anything right now.
Yet.
It's really important. Yet. So now and you have this information and you can say, absolutely, got it. If you have experience and you're good at this, you can then ask a couple more probing questions to see if that's just a cop out and if they're actually ready to start now, or if they're for real, not ready to start. And now you either have them in your warm pipeline for follow up until September, October, when you're going to then get them onto a conversation and probably enroll them, or you're going to poke a little bit and figure out that they actually are ready now. They're just afraid to get started, which you have a whole method around, so it's not difficult for them. And then you're going to have a conversation, or you're going to find out they're not motivated at all. And they're like, well, I really like chocolate. So, I'd like to lose 3.5 pounds, but it's not an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
Very different.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's it. Like, those are the questions. Like, you just need to figure out the problem, the solution, and how motivated they are to solve it right now.
Yep.
That's it.
And that does not involve coaching.
No, there was actually zero coaching in that conversation. There's zero weed questions. There's zero, well, what do you eat for breakfast? Well, tell me a little bit more about the supplements you've tried in the past. Those questions are not part of a qualifying conversation at all.
Right. And it's really important that you ask those questions, because that is what is going to help you understand how to pivot your own coaching style and your own communication strategies.
Yes.
So that you can do what's best for them. Either continue to follow up, because that might be what's best for them right now.
Yep.
Or get them onto a call with you if they're really looking to get started, because that's what's best for them right now.
Yep.
It might be what's best for them right now is for you to invite them into your masterclass, or for you to give them a resource, because they're not even really sure what's going on with them. They're too new.
Yeah.
They're too new. You can't treat somebody who is completely unaware and expect that they're going to get on a call and you're going to enroll them. They have no
And even
idea.
if you were like so good at the conversation and so impassioned and so just, you're one of those naturally charismatic people that people just want to say yes to, it actually wouldn't even be in their best interest for you to enroll them if they're not ready to actually do the work, because that is when you enroll people who don't succeed.
And or freak out and ask for a refund.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. And then you feel all sorts of feelings of unworthiness and like you failed and like your program is not good, but it's because you didn't qualify them. You didn't have the conversation to understand what was best for the person in that scenario. Huge.
And here's what this all means, okay? Here's what this all means. It all means that you get to stop being salesy.
Yes.
When you understand this, there is no convincing.
Never.
There is no selling. There's nothing salesy about it at all. You are a coach or practitioner. You have training. You have expertise that can transform lives. We call you a leader in transformation. That is what we call you. And so if you are, as Laura said at the beginning, if you are genuinely here to lead them through this, understanding the readiness to change states, understanding the levels of awareness, then eliminates any opportunity for you to be pushy, salesy, or have to convince anyone of anything, right? Because you understand, because you've used qualifying questions and because you understand the importance of having their best interests in mind. Sometimes it's in their best interest for you to hold a mirror to them and have a conversation.
Yep, it sure is.
Sometimes that's in their best interest. That doesn't mean that you're being an ass or pushy.
No.
It means that you are a leader and that you are leading them through a transformation. And in that moment, it is in their best interests for you to call them out on their nonsense.
And here's the thing. If all of the previous words are true about you, the way that you are going to call them out is not in a jerk, mean, condescending, abrasive way. It's with love and it's with compassion and it's with empathy for where they are right now. And that will come through in your tone.
Yes.
That will come through.
Yes. Because you care.
Because you care.
You aren't just here for the money. You aren't just here to make a buck.
It's about them. It's not about you.
Right? And so when that all translates, and so if we go back to the beginning and we say, it's so, so important for you to understand that not everybody who comes into your world comes in at the same level of readiness.
Yes.
And therefore, your communication style, your leadership style, the content that you create, the way that you talk to people should shift, as good leaders do, based on what their people need from them. And the best way to figure out what your people need from you is ask them.
Conversation.
Ask them.
Conversation. Say words.
Simple question. So we hope this helps, because we know that a lot of practitioners and coaches struggle with this, like a lot.
Yes.
Because they're all sweaty about, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? And it's just like, just stop. Just think about it logically. What do you need to know from them? Do you really need to know what they ate for breakfast? No, you don't, because you're going to change it anyway. You are going to change it anyway. What's in their best interest right now? And that's where you lead them to. So that is it for today.
This was fun.
Good conversation. We will be back again tomorrow. Everyone, you have yourself a good day. Bye.
Bye.